have a solution like some very famous ERP system or some kind of card system or something like this. But now it's going about achieving some business goals. And what we do for our clients, we provide the resolving of their business goals with the help of different systems. So we eliminate the typical problems of 3.0 technologies like the breaches in information circulation, inconsistency of business processes, and we achieve customer requirements to get your business goals, as I said before. So one of the most goals for the business is maximization of overall and efficiency. So it has 3 points, like the productivity. You have to produce under the highest speed with minimum losses and reward, and shortest production lead time. You have to have ability of your equipment to produce anytime as you have your clients' orders. And as for quality, you have to have minimum scraps and rework online controlling critical parameters. And some elements of computer vision will help you in routine of checking your quality. As well, artificial intelligence makes all gears running. So it helps for people to avoid some maybe non-efficient works, to avoid lots of meetings, coordination, because artificial intelligence is able to resolve lots of problems without people. So what is better, to make your own software or to purchase something ready for use? If you want to cover all needs with one IT system, it is nonsense from our point of view, and it is proved in the practice in collaboration with lots of companies. Because any solution, any company has some benefits, advantages, and some faults and poor sides. So it is necessary, first of all, to make the digital ecosystem, understanding of all this architecture, understanding what is the best to resolve any particular need of the client. It is advantages of our teams, because we work in the market more than 30 years, and we understand lots of industries, their specific needs, requirements, and constraints. So why you should work with the Ukrainian software developers, and I think it will provide for you some advantages, some benefits. First of all, in Ukraine we have association for automation of industrial companies. Its name Apao. It has 54 members focused on the Industry 4.0 and includes software developers, industrial leaders in digitalization, universities, etc., etc. It is like the ecosystem. All of these teams, they provide some compatible elements for the solutions, as I mentioned before. And some of IT developers has more than 30 years experience and implemented more than 800 projects. They are visible with proved results and so on. So if we start cooperation with you, we can provide any reference necessary for you, and you will see your own eyes how it's working. And why I would like to illustrate some kind of architectures. Now you see in this picture, like the interoperability among the ERP solution, among the PTM, PLM solution, like the product lifecycle management, IoT, and any other very strange words, maybe for you. But what is the meaning of this? That our teams know how to apply this. Because if you have maybe very good software solutions and don't know how to implement it, don't know how to use it, it is nothing, really. It doesn't proficient for your business. But our teams can help to implement, to tie up all elements in proper manner and provide for you results. And about the results. So, according to our experience, it takes less than 2 years, like the break-even period. So you will have your investments back in 2 years. It is not very long term. And ROI is about 200%, sometimes it's more. It's approximately, if you compare like the card, like 15% yearly. And as for business you will have 20% and more output increase due to artificial intelligence planning and performance control, 30% decrease of inventories due to tracking and arranging supply chain. These figures are approximated because some of clients have more significant and higher results. 50% decreasing of time to market is mostly for the matching building, for cable designing and some electrical business. 50% downtime decrease due to predictive and prescriptive maintenance. Prescriptive maintenance is based only on the artificial intelligence. And 97% and more on-time deliveries, 95% customer service level, and maximization plus 50% and 20%, sometimes 30% more OEE increase. So, from my point of view, these are very huge results that we can achieve together with the industrial companies. And now we started cooperation with Sweden Electric, we started cooperation with Arabic Organization of Industrialization. So they estimated our experience, and now we are conducting with them some projects. So, and you are welcome to continue these very good initiatives. If you have some questions, I'll be here, and we can talk about some maybe specific topics, because I have short time to explain very, very huge things. Thank you very much for you.
It's a real pleasure to be here and talk about what we achieved, where we succeeded, and we think we did a lot for the last 2 years. So my name is Alex Bornikov. I work for Ministry of Digital Transformation, which was founded like 2 years ago, so we're pretty brand ministry. We never existed before. And upon creation, we put ahead of ourselves a vision to build the most convenient country in the world. And this means a lot for us, for our citizens. And we actually, in order to fulfill this, we decomposed this vision to 4 major goals. The one of them, and the major one, is make 100% of the government services available online for all the citizens of Ukraine. And by saying this, we also implemented the concept mobile first. So, you know, and Egypt the same. Most of our citizens carry the phone with it in every pocket and spend most of their time in the phone. So we decided to put the government in the smartphone. So this is basically what it is. And this goal basically takes 60% of the ministry job, of the minister's staff. But in order to include everyone, we put another set of goals, and you can see it on the screen. So if you move 100% of the government services online, and there is no access to the infrastructure, this makes no sense. So another goal that we put is to cover 95% of Ukrainian territory with high-speed broadband internet. And there's another corresponding goal to the first one. So if you move everything online and people don't know how to use smartphones, so don't know how to use the services, it also then doesn't make any sense because they feel it's excluded. So another goal to teach 6 million of Ukrainian citizens digital skills is also the priority for us. And in order to support business in the growth of IT industry, we decided to have another goal, the last one, which I'm personally in charge of, is to have 10% in Ukrainian GDP coming from IT and high technology. And I think now I'm going to share some successful stories about Ukraine. So we're the first in the world who introduced digital passport equal to the paper ones. So right now, with my smartphone, I can travel inside the country. I could identify myself. I don't need to carry any papers. So this is made on the legislative level, on the technical level, and people started to get used to this. So in Ukraine, more and more people just using their smartphones as interaction with the government and with other institutions. Some other things, really good things happen. We one of the first of the world with the fastest business registration. So before that, there was like rate of 12 or 15% of people you're registering business online. After introducing our DIA flagship product, which I'm going to talk later, the 60% of all the private entrepreneurs registered online in Ukraine. You can see that around 600,000 people using online services to go and work online. We one of the first in the world who introduced digital COVID passports compatible with the European Union. So now Ukrainian citizens, when they travel abroad in European Union and other countries, they can show the smartphone, their COVID certificate on the smartphone, they read it and it's just good to go. You don't need to carry any papers. You can also kind of store it also in Apple Wallet if it's no access, if you're not online, you still can use it. Speaking of the numbers, so 20 million of Ukrainian citizens right now using government services and all the related services in DIA ecosystem. It's almost half population of Ukraine. So this is a tremendous success. And before I go further, I'd say that DIA, as a government application with all the papers and services, reached like 12 million downloads. It's the most popular government application in Apple Store and the Google Store in Ukraine. So we made it. Almost like every third citizen uses this. We also have very powerful IT industry in Ukraine, consisting of 5,000 companies plus, almost 250,000 people, engineers working in this field. We have like 40 investment funds, and we are number first in Eastern Europe as outsourcing destination. Our companies work with majority of Fortune 500 world recognized companies. I can give a couple examples. Like if you sit in any car, like Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW, when you push start, everything you see on the screen is produced in Ukraine. Every time you press something on the digital screen in any car, Audi, Porsche, Volkswagen, it's being done in Ukraine. So there are a number of such examples working with companies like Boeing, with their Toyota and others. So, and we're actually the home of newborn unicorns, the companies that reach $1 billion valuation, like Grammarly, like GitLab, like Revolut, and some others. So we actually figured out how to build unicorns in Ukraine. And I'm going to talk this about later. And industry grows like 30-50% each year. We introduced, in order to boost the growth to 50% growth year over year, we introduced special taxation regime called DACD. So it is a special legal framework. It's a sort of an economic zone, but it's like virtual. It doesn't mean you have to be in a specific territory. You can be anywhere in Ukraine. But once you're in the government register, you're applicable for those tax benefits and a number of other benefits, which makes it easier to raise a capital and stimulate growth of startup ecosystem. By the way, the startup ecosystem of Ukraine is not just 40 investment funds. It's around 3,000 startups. So it's pretty big. And most of them work internationally. We also launching a project called e-residency. So this is the ability for any foreign citizen, Egyptian, to open a company in Ukraine and open a bank account in Ukraine. But the benefit is you can do this online, not coming into the country. So you can stay home, open business in Ukraine, open a remotely bank account, and good to go. We launched a fund, as I mentioned before, we want our startup ecosystem grow more and more. So we're launching sovereign fund and fund of funds, which help to boost the growth of private equity in IT sector, and not just in IT sector, but across the industries. So government, first time in the budget for next year, we allocated $11 million, which government is going to invest in this fund of funds. And we invite everyone who's interested in venture funding, in private equity funding in the IT industry to work together. Thank you. This actually would be all. And thank you for your attention.